Good morning, everyone. How are you? All right, first things first. We had a wonderful class yesterday. So let's hear it for that class because it was just out of this world. The energy was off the chain even before I got here. The chat rocking, it's amazing. So much fun. I came up with this thought yesterday that one person's miracle is another person's mistake. You can do with that what you will. Often I look at it with as, super duper success stories, etc. Anyway, I got a comment that the music wasn't loud enough, and when I listened back to the recording, it didn't feel loud enough. So is the music at a good level with my voice? Meaning, I want you to be able to hear it like you're playing it in your own space, but also not so much that it's drowning out my voice, because I know we had that issue a couple weeks ago. So yeah, we had so much fun in the chat. Thank you, Heather. We've got the new intro. I'm super excited. This is always a really productive time for me, just getting new things. So, just get ready. I'm gonna take the little cough drops out of my pocket there. Okay, yes, it's good. All right, I trust you. So today we're gonna do a seated flow. We have our chair, whatever you're seated on, just make sure it's sturdy and can provide you with some balance. If you need to use a counter at any point in time or the wall, that's completely within your wheelhouse. We also have some hand weights. We're just gonna do some seated arm work because we've been working a lot on the lower body lately, and I just wanted to get the upper body into it. We've done some good spinal work this week, but we are gonna start warming up the spines and the shoulders. So let's take our chair, your wall, your countertop, and just place it off to the side. Let's find ourselves about the width where you can bend forward at 90 degrees. Oh, stretch those rebounding legs and then come back up. You don't need to have your arms fully outstretched. So unlock your knees, just arrive right in your standing position, and then let's fold. So Heather must have seen my Instagram stories this morning. So I am a bird lover. I love birds. They bring me joy. I like watching them. I like watching animals in general. It's part of my whole well-being plan, if you will, or just like actual life. And so I put some seed out, and initially I was getting cardinals and just some sparrows, mourning doves, but then the pigeons came, and now we have what's called a pigeon mafia, and they wait for me, and they are pushy. And they definitely I want to do like some slow motion. They remind me of like the Breakfast Club slow motion walking scene at the end. Like they just walk on the roof up to my window and they're like, seed now. They're not subtle. Let's go one more time over into a flat back. Just let your elbows bend, let your knees bend. And then we're gonna begin from the tailbone through the crown of the head, just to round your spine up, let your head come all the way over, stretch out your lower back, and then start again from the tailbone through the crown of the head, and just see if you can reach a nice long spine, lifting your chest at the end into a little bit of a back bend. Nothing too super duper extreme. Just exploring the motion, rounding over, stretching the space between your shoulder blades and your lower back, and then lengthening through. Shoulders come down, reach your chest forward. So yeah, so the pigeons, they're getting more and more bold. One of them, they just come right up and stare me, like direct eye contact boldness. It's a little much, so that's what Heather was talking about, because they were all waiting on the roof for me this morning, and they know they clock in at 11:45, and it's not that time yet. Good. One more time here. All the way through. Good. All right, so come back to a flat back and maybe step in a little closer to your chair, bring your legs together. We're gonna do a little flamingo leg, so just keep your knees side by side, pick your foot up, and then using your chair or your wall or counter for balance, we're gonna take that foot around to the side and just look over your back shoulder at your foot, and then take the foot out to the side and look over in the other direction. We've done this exercise on our knees before. We've just warmed up the front and the back of the body, or started to move it. Doesn't feel as warm as I want it to be yet. Now we are attempting to move it side to side. So I want to share a little plant metaphor, specifically for the ones that I'm looking at right now. the elephant ear alocasia, and the baby monstera. Oh shit, there was a pigeon. Oops, bleep, beep, beep. I might get in trouble for that one. Sorry. I'm getting a little scared of them. Okay, back to the plant metaphor. We're gonna do a couple more. Just look and find your foot in each direction. It's also a nice little hip warm up too. Good, one more each side. So these plants, come on in, press it down, round your spine. They're all propagated from plants that my mom has. Lift your chest. And she is in a tropical climate in the southern part of the States. Let's go one more time. So they were very used to, even as babies, used to a certain climate. Let's come back to center and your flat or back, long flat back. Bend your opposite knee up and then cross it over, look over your shoulder to see your foot, and then look over your shoulder to see your foot. And just side to side. We're just working the sides of our torso. So I brought the babies back and gave them the best possible care and consideration. And we have had our issues with pests. We've talked about spider mites way more than I want to on this channel. And we have consistently tried to provide care and light and all of it. And it has been well over a year and a half. Oh, hello, pigeon. They're coming for me, you all. There they come. They're coming right up to the window. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Hi, it's not 11 yet. They're super smart. Oh, a couple more here. And then I'm going to sit and ignore them. Okay, the ultimate point of the plants is that they needed time to adjust. They needed time to adapt. And they didn't have an easy time adjusting or adapting. And they required my support as best as I could give them. And sometimes I tried to rush the process and give them too much support, and they went back in progress. Let's lower it down, let's round our spine. And then let's extend. The fact that they've figured out, these pigeons, where I am, and to like come over and be like, hey you, give us that good stuff. Round. I can see them. And extend. Ay, ay, ay. All right, come on back to center. Let's roll up through the spine. Let's go ahead and sit into our chair. My point about the plants, which was really prolific, but interrupted by the mafia, is that, you know, sometimes we try to rush the progress, we try to support it, we try to get all this stuff, we try to do all the workouts, do all the eating plans, do all the diets, do all the therapy, do none of the things. We go to the nth degree to try to control it all. And the only things that are really in our control, even with some, you know, caveat, is what we're putting up here and what we're doing with our body, how we're acting. We have some level of choice there. So I just want to remind us as we're going into the season of diets and eliminations and eating plans, and you're going to see me give some education surrounding those things in the upcoming weeks, especially if you follow me on Instagram. I just want to remind you that extremes do not work. Even the most extreme sports folks, they train for years. They go through a pace of adaptation that is actually supposed to be measured, and there is a level of cycling that happens if you're working with a smart person who trains themselves, and the cycling reflects the cycles of life. So let's just breathe in and out for that. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Oh, you have blue jays that do the same as the mafia. I would rather the blue jays, in all honesty. I mean, I don't think you can see because the lights are reflecting in the window, but they're all right there. Oh my God. All right, lift your hands up overhead. We're gonna fold in our hips. We're gonna dive forward and take your hands down and just let yourself release. Breathe into your back, breathe into your abdomen. Let's lift our chest. We're doing like a little bit of an adaptation of the sun salutation shape. Let's reach it all the way down. Now let's lift our chest again and then bring our arms all the way up. And then press all the way down. I love the way this feels. I am not a yoga teacher. If this is not yoga, this is just might reflect something you've done in a yoga class before. All the way forward. Let's lift. Good. And then lower all the way down. Let it release. And then from here, lift your chest to reach your arms all the way up overhead. And lower down. Arms open, chest open. Let's do 2 more like this. Reach. When I'm diving forward, I'm thinking of lifting up and out of my lower back, stretching that lower back as I take myself over. Take a breath here. And then on your next breath, lift your chest. And lower it down. And again, lift up, reaching your arms all the way overhead. And lower all the way down. Still there. One more time, lift all the way up. Dive forward. The funny thing is, let's take a breath here. I actually know them. Lift your chest. I know they're very distinct. If you actually look at the birds, you can tell the difference between them. Reach them over. And then reach all the way up. And this time, take your left hand to your right knee. Take a gentle twist over to the side. Looking over your back, allowing those back muscles to open, feeling the breath support there. Let's reach both arms up to the ceiling as we come back through the center. And then reach over and give yourself a little twist. Good. And then again, over to the other side. It's a little asana disguise. Reach up. I'm just really mindful. There's a lot of criticism about people just like randomly teaching yoga. And like, I just always want to say that isn't yoga. That was a yoga inspired sequence. Reach your arms up all the way down. Just to keep us clean. Paul yesterday was telling me to teach yoga. I actually thought about it later on. The jury's not out, but I've always kept yoga for myself. All right, we are going to take our legs pretty wide, reaching your heels down right underneath your knees. Take your hands on your knees and remember that little shifty, sweepy, spiny thing we did for our lymph. I don't know about you, but I definitely feel these muscles today. So we're just gonna revisit to bring some fluidity into them. So think of yourself doing a little seaweed sort of movement with your spine as best you can. Again, this is the kind of thing you can't really get wrong. It's just, I feel like I'm in a horror movie, like the birds. Those were crows though, or the crows have eyes. Did we ever figure that one out? The crows have eyes? Is that what it was? Simply bedeviled by pigeons. That's my Moira impression. Good. Do one more over to the left. Come back to the center. Have your legs where they feel supported for you, and then keep your chest lifted. We're gonna do a little spinal ripple. So your elbows go out to the side, you round down. Round up, curl your tail under, stretch your back, and then your elbows could spiral back in. If we're stealing from another thing, this could be seen as like a little gyrotonic gyrokinesis. You know, at the end of the day, movement is movement, and some people have TM'd it, and some movement has history. I don't think it's the movement that constitutes the experience. I think it's the foundational beliefs behind it. I think it's the intentions behind it. And my intention for you is just to get you moving in all sorts of interesting ways. So right now we're working our hips, we're working our spine, we're working our shoulders, hopefully all the way over. One more time, rippling down and through. All the way up. Take your hands behind your legs and just press them back. And remember, we've talked about this concept before. We want to feel like our torso is a piece of toast inside the toaster. And as we go over, we are just trying to get equally toasty. on both sides. So not leaning forward, not leaning back, just in the center, and then we lift up. Speaking of toasty things, so there's this like little trend that's happening in food spaces about like making waffles with lots of different things. But one of the ones that I found is waffles using falafels, falafel waffles. It's amazing. Like you can do kind of a whole salad or like a couscous or quinoa dish, but you take the falafels, you mix them up, like you kind of smash them up and maybe put a little egg in there if you need to, or some butter, and you put it in the waffle maker and voila, voila, falafel waffles. I always like to share something new. I'm a sucker for a falafel anyways. Good. Press all the way up. One more time each side. Good. All right, so all of this has been pretty free, and now we're gonna be a little more bound, is the word we use in kind of movement speak. So I'd like you to either take your hands to your shoulders, or you can take your hands behind your head if that's comfortable, and we're just gonna have our feet stable. The energy through your legs is pressing down, so you can feel a little bit of activity in your legs. And we're going to take a forward bend just with the upper back. So think from the bottom of your ribs through the crown of the head, you round forward. And then as we go over to the side, we're taking a side bend over to the side, keeping the weight down into the right hip as we go left. And then we're gonna continue the circle, reaching your chest up onto the sky. And then we're gonna go into the circle over to the right, and then we'll come back to center, and let's just come up for a moment. So a couple things as we go around. We wanna feel that we're moving through the space like it's a solid substance. We talked about that a few weeks ago, like moving through peanut butter or mud or falafel, maybe, I don't know, hummus, how about? So moving through that substance, that it can help you find a little more activity for supporting yourself. All right, so hands here or hands here. Waist stays still. We're rounding forward from above the waist, then taking it over to the side, to the left. Then lifting your chest, back bending behind your hips, and then over to the right. We're gonna do 4 in this direction, so find the rounding. And as you move from space to space, I'd like you to think about there are no corners in a circle, but if you think about moving a circle inside of a square maybe, you wanna just connect each position to each other. So right here would be a corner, and then we find the side bend, and then we reach back to the corner and we find the back bend. You get me? Yeah. All right, here comes our third one. Good, chest up. All the way around. Reaching through. All the way up to the center. All the way over to the side. Forward, and then let's bring it up. Just shake it out for a second. All right, let's go to the other side. Hands where you need them. Starting forward again, up and over. Reach to the side. Find the upper extension all the way to the side. So notice the things that are supporting you in this endeavor. Notice what's stretching. Notice what's breathing. Notice what's pulling your curiosity. And based on the chat we did yesterday, which was all about pain science, turns out, look at us on YouTube talking about pain science. The question I have for you is, are you aware of the thoughts that are coming from your brain as you're navigating through newer movements? How do those feel? How are they serving you, really? I lost count. I think this was 3 or 4. We'll do one more. Whoa. Bringing it all the way around. bring it all the way forward and then all the way up. Relax. Yeah, good point, Tracy. If you were to lay down and put the ball like on your mid back, what's called your thoracic spine, between your mid and low back, and do that ball. Fantastic. Extra credit homework for anybody who does this exercise on the small ball and sends me a video of it. Okay? I don't know what you get. A gold star. I'll figure it out. Okay. So I'm gonna take my 5 pounds, and we're just gonna do a little ankle work, gratuitously, selfishly for me, but also just so we can bring a little warmth into our hips. So we're gonna lift the heels and just lower them down, and lift and lower. And so you're just using your hands right now to support the weights so they don't fall down. Also, I want you to think about where your spine is. A lot of us will, sit way far forward into the toaster. Are we able to find that really unique cylinder for our body to fit in? It's not that you're getting smaller or bigger per se, it's that the cylinder is just about the shape of your body. You don't want to touch the sides necessarily. We'll gamify it a little bit, but you do want to continue to kind of think of lifting up as you lift and lower your ankles, your heels. And then let's just continue this little exercise, but let's try to find some breath that's just kind of rhythmic. If the music is loud enough, you can just breathe with that beat. Good. I will never not be messing around with music. It's like the bane and the beauty of my existence. Good. A couple more like this. Postural endurance is one of those things that we're consistently working on for our life. You know? We talked about that too. Posture is not about a static position. It's about enduring length and breath and support. Good. 4 and 3. We're good. 2, they give up. They'll be back though. 1. All right, lower all the way down. Now, we're gonna take our hands and gather the hand weights, no matter what you're using. I'm using 5 pounds today. You can use whatever you need. Now, what I wanna do is lean forward, but I'm gonna stay in my toaster, which is gonna challenge me a little bit. We're gonna go up for 2, and then down for 2. These are slow, so if you're using 5s and they are too heavy for you after a while, then I want you to drop down to a lighter weight or just use your arms. The idea is that we're adding the small weights to the postural position that we're working. So right now I feel like I'm leaning way back, but I know that I'm actually right on my sits bones. So it's not uncommon to find that you feel like you're way behind yourself, because a lot of us will really lean forward. I think it's kind of the ultimate joke, if you will, by whoever created us. They put all of the sensitive pieces out front, right? You think horses, dogs, everybody else, all their visceral organs are facing the ground, protected by a really strong back. Us, we lead with them. They were like, hey, how are ya? So we're trying to create a bit of a strong back in this case. And we're also trying to really allow ourselves to have that open, proud, maybe vulnerable sort of sense of the front body. Let's do 2 more. Good. And last one. All right, so keeping these weights, as long as they work for you, you always have the choice to drop them down or bring them up. We're gonna bring them at a 90-degree angle at the elbows. We're just gonna do some bent elbow side raises. So a lot of people will think of these like pouring milk into cereal, pouring from a beer stein, pouring the kettle, I don't know, water, whatever it is. But the idea is to keep your wrist in line with your elbows here. So you're pressing your elbows out to the side. There we go. And lowering down. Good. And reaching. Just My ask for you is that you keep a consciousness today, a mindfulness, which is just fancy ways of saying pay attention to the pathway that you're taking. It's not about the destination. A little bit it is, but it's more about the journey. So there's kind of a downward and outward swing as we lift, downward and inward connection, yeah? Good. Press. And lower. So something that's so funny that happened yesterday. I was podcasting and there was a question about like what the heck is a side plank and how to do it, and it just didn't go with our flow today, so we'll do it next week. So I detailed out a side plank on the podcast, just like my teaching step-by-step process, which I think works pretty well. But at one point, as I often do, I was like, I want you to lift your hips off the ground, like maybe the height of a block of cheese. It was just a random moment. I was hungry. It was cheese. Last one. Good, all the way down. All right, so we're gonna now do some hammer curls, which just means instead of your palms facing forward, your palms are gonna stay inward. You wanna face your thumbs to your shoulders and lower them all the way down. Let's go. So I said a block of cheese. So I always use this little, this like app that I have that gives me timestamps and kind of a show overview. And I think it uses AI to do it, but you basically, it listens to the recording, it gives you a transcript, yada, yada, yada. You get all the things. So at one point in the recording, it says ribs, elbow, hips, cheese, shelf, twist, shelf, cheese. And I was like, yeah, that pretty much sounds like how I teach. I'm all like, lick the frosting off the ceiling with your toe. Let's move through hummus. Lift your hips off the level of a block of cheese. And you know what? Why not? That's sure as heck better than hearing, burn those calories. Uh-oh. We're good. We've got 3 more. We're kind of doing basics today, everybody, but it's all right. Last one. Good. All right. If you're still comfortable with the 5-pound weights, then we're going to go ahead and go into shoulder press. We're still staying slow, and then we're going to we're going to do a second round of everything, upping the tempo a bit. So for this shoulder press, let's take our elbows in front of our body. We're going to take it out to the side, press it overhead, pull them out to the side, and then just rotate them back. Technically, this is an Arnold Schwarzenegger press, but we're going to do it a little bit more kind of stylized and with less weight. The benefit of this one, I think, is to just really find your shoulder blades as you move your elbows back. Feel the strength of your back. Good. Trying to find my stuff happening. And then just check in with your posture. Are you leaning forward? What kind of breath can support you as you're pressing the weights up and out? Good. I can always tell when the chat is quiet that you're all working with me. That makes me happy. Good. Reach. I really have, largely due to all of you showing up, I really have had this resurgence of energy this week, and I needed it, so thank you again. It's been a good one. No thanks to those pigeons. Get out of here. Good. One more here. These are the real deal. Good. Up. All the way down. And in. Let's release the weights down for a moment by our sides. We're gonna do that little stretch, opening, reaching up. Your arms should feel super light. Stretch your chest over the legs. Let yourself hang for a moment. Lift your chest up. Reach it down. Lift your chest up again and lift. And then lower, open that chest, open that chest, open that chest. Let's do one more time. Bring it up. Good. If you need a drink of water, now is the time to get it after we finish this last one. Reach it down and lift your chest all the way up and lower. I think I'm gonna get a quick sip. Practice what you preach, right? Stay hydrated, especially we did all that lymph work yesterday. Did you all sleep well last night? I slept really well. I have this, I think I said this yesterday, I don't remember. Oh no, I told the client. I have a reoccurring nightmare, a teaching nightmare, where I have to teach a workshop, but there's 2 separate rooms and they're connected by a hallway. So I have to like teach this group and then run and teach this group and then run and teach this group. And so I had the nightmare the night before last. And in the middle of the nightmare, the people were saying, "Are you sure you can do this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I have nightmares about this all the time." This little lucid, actual dreaming situation. Who knows? All right. Yeah, our hands are full with weights. Well, that's a good thing sometimes. Yeah, I think so. All right, we're gonna go a little faster through the second round. We've got our hammer curls, our side raises, our actual curls, our side raises, our hammer curls, and our little Arnolds. So, little Arnolds. Let's find yourself back in your seated position. Roll those shoulders back and turn your palms forward. And this time we're just gonna go up and down. If you need to go slower, you know I'm in full support of choosing the cadence that you need. This is intentionally meant to challenge us for endurance and to stay. Yeah, sometimes moving all that lymph around, you get those, I call them waste management dreams. Get out of your head. Good. I've been having a lot of flashlight dreams too. He's sleeping. Good. We are almost there for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and lower down. Okay, relax. Are you ready for side raises? Bring them up, elbows. Here we go. Open and close. We got a lot of people streaming today, a little more than normal, I can see. Thank you. Even if you're not chatting with us, you are welcome here. Just want to let you know that you'll get used to it. It's a very supportive group in this space. And for those of you who are watching in real time, streaming in real time, welcome, welcome. For those of you who watch us in the future, it's me. There's energy here though. Good. Lift. Give me 4 more, up. 3, 2, and 1. All right, lower it down. Let it go for a second. Hammer curls are next. Roll those shoulders down. We bring the thumbs up and we lower them down. Lift and lower. I don't know what's happening with the music, but it'll kick in a minute. Interesting. Oh, it's the ending. It was a dramatic long ending. That's it. Up and down. Keep going. There we go. Lift and lift. We might be into the stretchy, flowy portion, so we're just gonna continue with this last piece. I think we're into that part of the music for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. All right, relax for a moment, and then we'll finish with our Arnolds. We're not gonna go super fast with these ones. When you're ready, bring them up. We open out to the side to press. Just think of it as like a little spiral type motion. And then you can probably tell that we're gonna stretch and flow a little bit more. Good. Sometimes I like to try to find the elbows together before the forearms. just getting a little bit of upper body strength today. I always think lifting things, reaching for things, helping ourselves move with a little bit more ease throughout the day. There we go. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good, all the way in. Relax, lower down. All right, we can take these weights off to the side. We're gonna do a little hip flexor stretch on the chair. So, when you're ready, just turn to the chair so you can be in a lunge, and you can use the back of your chair for a bit of support, just letting your back leg hang down a bit. Tuck your toes under if that's comfortable for you. If you want to come down into an actual lunging position to the ground, be my guest. You want to choose the stretch that's right for you. But pay attention to the seated sit bone that's on the chair right now. And so most of us, again, will be a little bit onto the front of the sits bone, and let's just explore what it means to be on top or back from the sits bone. And maybe, like me, you'll automatically find a little more length in the front of your hip flexor. If that's the case, wonderful. I want to think about that energy coming up the front of the body and down the back of the body, the tailbone hanging, the hip open, all of it. Hanging onto that chair, let's just take a long side bend stretch over. Breathing in and out. Good, come back to center. And then we are gonna lean forward on the diagonal and just see if you're able to stretch your leg backward. If this is accessible to you, reach your arms on the diagonal so you're in a supported lunge. Keep your back leg straight. Lift your chest up as much as you can. Take your back hand to your back leg or to the chair, and then just lift to the sky. Those of you who know yoga, you're seeing some themes. We're just trying to find some stretches. Good. Come all the way back to center. Find your lunge again. And you don't have to stand at all from this position, but can you press down and just make your leg a little lighter? Let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee, come all the way up, and then take your leg just out to the side, flexed foot position. I'm gonna scoot a little more to the back of my chair so both sits bones are on. And I'm gonna take my hand to the front of the chair. Remember, hips stay here, and we're taking just a little side bend, reaching for that leg. You can absolutely move it more back, working with your own levels of mobility. Maybe a little hamstring stretch, maybe just a little side bend stretch. The goal is to always keep your base of support, namely your pelvis, really pressing the chair down so it doesn't tilt or tip. And then I'm noticing that I'm a little out of the toaster, so I'm gonna bring my body back into the toaster and then find the fullness of that stretch. That's yummy. Good. Bring it all the way up. Bring this leg seated to the side as long as it works. You can always bring it around to the front, just into your figure 4. Initially, just seated tall is enough. And then lift your chest up and just hinge forward as much as you can. So I wanna really think of lifting your tailbone this way and then reaching nice and long in the diagonal. If you're comfortable here and you feel like you can release your arms, think about taking them to a high V. Just kind of lifting up and out of your hips from your rib cage. Just allow yourself to find that stretch. Good. Come back to center. Let's sit facing still the side. If you've turned to face the front, come back with me to the side. Take your front hand, I'm using my left, and then hold on to the back of the chair with that hand. You can also go this way or on top. And then we're just gonna turn the body away from your chair to stretch the side of your arm. Now, like play around, like lean into it. Where do you get the most stretch? Is it on top? Is it on the side? Is it pressing forward? Is it back? Is it none at all? Sometimes that happens, you know. Good. All right, let's come out of this one. Same hand, we're gonna fold forward and reach down to the back leg of your chair. And then see if you can hold on to that leg and just give yourself a little twist in a forward fold, twisting to the back. If you feel comfortable, safe, grounded, you can open up that top arm. And this might feel, I didn't really expect to do this much yogic reflective movement, but it's, you know, sometimes the class calls you to where it wants to go, and that's what I'm receiving, so I'm going to pay attention right now. Good. Let's bring it down. Let's release. Let's roll up, and we'll go to the other side for our hips. So, taking that leg down and just finding that kind of really sturdy space for yourself where you can hold on to the back, you can find your knee hanging, and you can lift up through the top body and then get on top of your sits bone. That's right. Yeah, the great thing about working in the chair, like so many people think the chair is like for people who can't stand, which of course, it's really useful for those who need a little more support, but it's no different than, you know, anything we use at the gym. Like we sit on a bicycle, you know, sometimes we sit on a machine. It's just working the body with a different area of support. I mean, like ideally, you know, we want to be able to support ourselves by sitting on our hips, and that's by grounding down. So it's nice to practice this too. Reach the arm up and then reach over. I don't know if I can pull this off, but I had this idea, like every year at Thanksgiving, I always get the cooking bug, and I do enjoy cooking, and I like to challenge myself and do all the experiments, etc. Good, come all the way up. I feel like we did a twist. Did we do a twist? I feel like I want a twist. I think we just did our lunge next, but that's okay. So stretch your leg back as far as you can. Hinge forward. You want that front foot right underneath your knee so you can feel like you can release one arm or both arms into that long forward place. Good. We're going to sweep that front arm back to the leg and then reach up and go back. So I like to cook. I want to cook a whole meal. I always want to volunteer myself, but I remember that Thanksgiving for my husband's family includes certain foods that they just really look forward to every year. So it's not really fair for me to kind of like come in and be like, we're all going to do something different. I should just have a dinner party if that's what I want to do. Good. Sweep the arms back. All right, just take a moment, see if you can pull a little weight out of that chair and find your balance for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release coming up, and then we'll take that foot out to the side, wherever you need it to be, and we're going into a side bend. So, in any case, one thing that I thought I could do, which would be meaningful, I'm gonna have a coughing fit, is to offer some chair stretches before or after we eat, whether it's to make space or aid in digestion, you know? Good. All right, come all the way up. We're gonna take a slide over Take this heel over. I feel like I've lost my music, so I'm just gonna double check in on that. And your figure 4 can hinge forward from the hips and reach your arms really long. Ooh. Sorry, guys. Just trying to get us into, there we go.
I don't really need new friends, so spend your time with.
Here, let's go here. There we go. I've got all these little, yeah. It's a small family, so let's just say it's better if I bring one thing and offer a stretch. Let's just say there's a lot of varied tastes across the board, and mine is very particular. And you know, sometimes, yesterday I taught a meditation. All right, if you're here, then let's come up, and then let's take the hand onto the side, and then rotate into your shoulder. So yesterday, I taught a meditation. It's called Be the Mountain. And it involves like looking from a bird's eye view at all the details that you can see, and then actually pretending to be the mountain and think about what the view is from the mountain's perspective. And it's a really good metaphorical exercise for decision making. And when I thought about like insisting on a big fancy menu, I was only looking from the bird's eye view. I was not looking from the mountain's perspective. So I've taken the perspective, and I realize I can cook whatever I want at any time. Let's slide your hand down. And then if you want to find that twist, that's what I need. Yeah. So I'm very happy with offering a little chair stretch, enjoying the meal, and doing all the things. And I usually do bring something that I like because I'm the only vegetarian / gluten-free / special diet thing. I actually I've never had turkey, you know. That's Thanksgiving. So I really enjoy just a really amazing salad, which sounds a little dysfunctional, but I promise you that it's not. I promise you, like, it's the cranberries and the blue cheese, and it's just so good. How are we feeling? I feel like we need to just do a little bit of stretching on the mat, and then we'll be good to go in terms of the rest of our day. So let's go ahead and take it all the way down. And then feel free to use your chair, but you don't need it if you don't want to. And then bring it all the way up. It is nice though, right, Heather? Like, just to be able to offer something that everybody needs. It's probably like, I'm not being mean to myself, stupidly, that's kind of the hardest part of our jobs, is that, like, we have so much information as movement teachers that we overcomplicate things. And so in order to undercomplicate them and simplify them, it actually takes a lot of energy, even to create classes, you know? All right, heels on the chair if you like, or on the floor. We're just gonna press our elbows down and just do a nice, easy spinal articulation bridge. This is just to bring both sides of the body back together. We're just, you know, bringing both legs working together a little bit. I gotta move back a little bit. There we go. So peeling, pressing through your arms, reaching through your knees, lifting up to the top as much as you can, and then letting it ripple down. Just taking it bone by bone by bone by bone by bone. Let's just do a couple more like this. You are massaging the mat. I'm trying to think if I can get that one side to connect. You're massaging on the way up. You're massaging on the way down. Looking for the stretches, looking for the recalibration. Good, let's go one more time. Breathing as you need to. in a way that's really supportive for you. Good. Relax for a moment. Just kind of shake it out. Now, if you feel comfortable and you want to do a chair twist, sometimes that can bring you into a higher hip stretch. But if you want to bring it back down onto the ground, you can. I hear them. Take your arms out. I hear them pecking. Good. Oh, Colleen, I have to tell you, I adequately completed a stress cycle that was based on rumination today, and I was very, very happy with myself. Let's come back to the center. So I just started telling myself a little story that wasn't true. I was having a conversation with somebody who wasn't in the room. Just, you know how you do, you think about like some things that some people might say about some things, and then I found myself going down this rabbit hole and like thinking, oh, I shouldn't have said that in a conversation that wasn't actually happening. And you know, I was only on number uno cup of coffee, so I wasn't really like in it, awareness, but I caught myself and I did the physiological 2 inhale, 1 exhale, 3 times, and then I told myself, these are just thoughts that are rehearsing themselves in your head in an effort to keep you safe, and they are not actually reality. So you don't have to pay attention to them, my friend. And I came back and I felt really good because, you know, like there is nobody who has this human behavior thing perfect. Let's extend one leg up, let your other leg rest. Just give yourself a little hamstring stretch. We've done a lot for the past couple days. And then let's go ahead and circle the ankle around. Oh, Heather too, I forgot I don't know if you are Scottish redhead rumination, full stop, period, paragraph. Yeah, Heather, I didn't know if you listened to the episode yet, but it is absolutely relevant for all humans. Good. Circle your ankles in the opposite direction. And of course, what I'm talking about is the first prep step of the NeuroTune program. And once again, if you want to participate, if you need a little help participating, all I need you to do is send me an email, and you know I will be there for you. Good. All right, let's bend that leg down. Let's take the other one up. Find a little hamstring stretch. Just give it a little tug. I can't read upside down. Redhead Aries, yeah. And German. Good. Yeah, I mean, it's just, let's circle our ankles. Ultimately, it comes down to getting your reps in every single time, you know? So it doesn't matter as much if you are able to stop the thought in its track. I was proud of myself that I was able to, but this is coming off of, you know, I started the completion of the cycle work probably in 2019, beginning of 2020, when I really became aware of it. Let's reverse. So it's taken me a long time to like build the muscle of recognition in terms of what needs to happen. So it is not like an overnight thing, but the whole deal of what we're learning about in the program, Let's Rock Up, is to just gain the awareness. All right, last big stretch. You can do this one with your arms long, or you can do it with your elbows on the chair. So if your elbows are in the chair, I actually like this one because I feel like I can get a little bit deeper. You're just kneeling and you're gonna drop your chest through, and it's just more if you need a little more support. You do the same exact thing, reaching to the back of the chair, dropping your chest through, and then we just try to breathe as we let the chest go down. So sometimes you can get a little more tricep stretch if you allow your elbows to bend, as long as you get your balance going. And so I just think of like allowing my heart to be really heavy, allowing my shoulder blades to come together. It doesn't help a ton if I let my head hang. It's more your breastbone that you're trying to let hang towards the ground. So that's what we're looking for. And just with your inhale, you're looking for support. Your exhale, you're letting gravity help pull you to the stretch you need. I feel like we needed this week. It felt good to rebound a couple times. We have a couple more weeks like that coming up. All right, I'm losing my grip, so I'm gonna curl my tailbone under to come back up. And then just take a little child's pose on the ground, just to reset. If you wanna join me in circling your arms back and just letting your elbows come down. And then when you're ready, let's curl the tailbone under and roll all the way up through the spine. Woo! All right, my friends, we made it. Good work today. So things to look out for in the upcoming week. Because there's a couple NeuroTune participants here. We have no lesson this week, but there will be a special meditation coming up for the week of Thanksgiving. For Canadians, I know it already passed, but you too can just benefit from the meditation. So if you're not on my email list, go ahead over to Jenna-Zaffino.com. Make sure you are on the email list. It's a bathroom meditation for you to escape when you need to de-stress and recalibrate. My favorite place to meditate. So there's that coming up. There is, every year I go, will I, won't I, will I, won't I? So I have this like complete dichotomy of not wanting to participate in like capitalistic holidays like Black Friday, also being a small business owner and knowing that I do benefit when I can share my services with other folks. So there is a Black Friday sale. It'll be jennazaffino.com/Black Friday right now. It's Pilates teachers tools at a steep discount. It's officially happening. It's officially happening from Wednesday to Friday next week. However, you can see it right now if you go to Black Friday, all one word, after jennazaffino.com. And then I'm gonna put together, or send out, it's put together, a little gift guide for you on Amazon. So all of those things are happening. Just keep your eyes peeled. Thank you so much for the support that you give by showing up, by showing and sharing in the chat, by sharing the channel, by streaming when you're not even doing the classes. All of it matters to me by just sending me messages. You know, I, again, primarily in a room by myself most times. Flashlight, unfortunately, he only uses buttons, but he doesn't talk in full sentences. So it becomes hard to tell if your work is resonating, and you are such a great group for letting me know that it is. So I appreciate that, and it is not from an approval ego place. It is purely, it literally stokes the fire for me to keep going. I am a service-based person, and so when I know that the services that I'm offering are landing well with people, it's just like giving more fuel in there. So thank you so much for that. Yes, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. I will see you Monday. Take good care of yourself. Continue to hydrate. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Remember, it's gonna go black, but we're gonna do it anyways. Oh no, it did it. Da-da-da. Remember why the moves matter to you. Oh, damn. We knew it was gonna happen, didn't we? I gotta figure out how that does it. All right. Big love to you, everybody. Bye-bye.